Welcome back to the Sea Champagne Radio Show. Welcome back, ACDC fans and people searching for the truth about music history, because we have some breaking news, or at least finalization news. I've always wanted to know the answer to this, and now I finally know the answer. And for those people watching the video, you will too here, because Marc Storace of Krokus has broken his silence on the ACDC Krokus. Is he going to join after Bon Scott died? Finally tells the real truth and says what he needs to say about ACDC, about himself, and about the band Krokus. Now, for those people that don't know really about the band Krokus, let me just tell you that Krokus is a really good band. Do they sound like AC/DC? Yes, they do. I know when I got turned on to them, really my first big turn on was Long Stick Goes Boom. And then, of course, after that, Screaming in the Night, which is just a fantastic song. Eat the Rich. You could go with Midnight Maniac, which a lot of people don't like, or Our Love, which was more pop rock at the time. They did a lot of cover songs and stuff pre-Long Stick. But, getting back into it, because he sounded so much like Bon Scott, his voice resembled Bon Scott, and Krokus did not have the big success that AC/DC had. Now, if you really look in the United States, now, I can't speak for overseas, only what happened in the United States. Until Back in Black came out, AC/DC was really an afterthought. Where I was, traveling around, listening to different rock radio stations throughout the United States, they didn't play much AC/DC. Really, they didn't. It wasn't until Shook Me All Night Long came out. Of course, that song's about sex. It has a driving beat. It's very danceable. DJs love to play it so the girls would get the energy. And, they blew up. And then they actually had to re-release Dirty Deeds after Back in Black, because people were like, I heard this, People didn't know Highway to Hell and TNT, but, it was more like once Back in Black came out, then that's when AC/DC really blew up. I don't think, at least to my knowledge, in the United States where I was, they were as popular until that album came out. And, of course, it's one of the greatest selling albums of all time. But Krokus was, 3 steps below AC/DC at that point. Even before Back in Black, they were still 3 steps. Were they good? Yeah, they were good, but they were 3 steps below it because he sounded so much like Bon Scott, and he had the bushy hair and stuff, because Bon Scott kind of had a little bush, little thing going at the part in the middle. People were like, hey, just get this guy. They're not that popular anyways. And here's what Marc Storace had to say about that situation. He said, the truth is, they never asked him to do it. He said that a guy asked a guy who asked me, but no one ever asked me directly. And I turned it down because I was very happy with Krokus at that time. It says right here, Metal Rendezvous went like a rocket on the charts. The telephone started ringing. Things started happening for us. And they thought they were going to be the big dogs, and surpass AC/DC. And that's why he didn't do it. He goes on to say that he wasn't interested in doing any auditions. And it's as simple as that. It was never asked. However, here's where it gets a little dicey, okay? And I'm going to read this directly here. It says here that AC/DC first asked Slade's Noddy Holder, but he turned it down. And then they asked Iggy Pop, if you can believe that. Thank God he didn't accept that. I don't know why they would do that. I think that would have been a tragedy personally. He said, I listened to the record and I thought, I can't fill that bill. Now that's important that Marc Storace said he couldn't fill that bill. I was like, I don't like them. The record was well made and they do good work, but I'm not what they needed. Now, that's important for 2 reasons here. He says he's happy, he's glad, because obviously ACDC has made a whole ton of more money than Marc Storace and Krokus could ever think about making. And their popularity, I mean, Krokus basically is an afterthought. But we, always thought, hey, they sounded so good. Kind of like the Bret and Michaels, Vince Neil thing, Poison wasn't as popular as Motley Crue. They had some hit records. Absolutely they did. But, when in the 90s when things were getting like this and Vince Neil and all the stuff that was going on, hey, let's just get, Bret and Michaels to come in. He looks like Vince Neil with the blonde hair and the bandana anyways, But the thing is he said, I don't like them. Now, that's interesting for two reasons. And he also said that he didn't think that's what they needed. Well, Marc Storace is obviously a very sensitive man because this man is extremely talented. If you have not paid attention to how good Marc Storace is, you need to listen to Krokus Records. You just need, if you don't want to listen, go deep in the album, just listen to the greatest hits. And I'm telling you, you'll realize just how good this guy really is. And there's plenty of stuff online where he's actually singing AC/DC songs. So we got to hear what it would have sounded like had he joined AC/DC. But what do you think about Krokus? Does anybody out there like Krokus? How many people even know the band, have bought a record by them, could tell me their favorite song by them? What do you think would have happened had Marc Storace joined AC/DC? What do you think? I want to know. I read every single comment, and I Love Music Army, everybody out there watching this video right now, I appreciate you. I love you so much for watching these videos. It keeps the fire burning for me making these videos. And I like to call it the I Love Music Army, my internet global musical family of friends where we all talk about music and entertainment right here on this channel. And I read every single comment, and I always will. Join us. We are getting stronger every single week, and we want you to be a part of it. We've got so many exciting things coming up, and I'm going to reveal that probably this weekend, actually, what's going to happen next year and all the cool things that all of you have talked about in the comments section, because I do read your comments, everyone, and I do comment occasionally on certain comments, but your comments has allowed me to make some great changes that are going to be happening not only in my life, but that will affect this channel and how cool it's going to be moving forward. In the meantime, that's all I got to say. I can't wait to read your comments. Thank you so much for watching. We greatly appreciate it. Right now, we got to do some other things. Take care of business, if you will. It's the Steve Champagne Radio Show. Join us.